Good evening, I'm Edwin Nand and this is FBC News. Tonight, PM hits out at international critics. Senior LTA officers to face severe action for alleged corruption. And popular Suva restaurant goes up in flames. Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama has hit out at international critics who've questioned the detainment of 5 politicians and an activist. Bainimarama says double standards are being adopted by certain countries. Ritika Pratap reports.
Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama is disappointed with elements of the international community expressing concern with the detention and questioning of Fijians who have allegedly broken the law. National Federation Party leader Professor Biman Prasad, fellow MP Prem Singh, Sodalpa leader Sitiveni Rambuka, Fiji Labour Party leader Mahendra Chaudhry, former politician Tupeni Mbamba and activist Chone Dakuvula spent the weekend at the Totongo police station. Their files have been sent to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions. Bainimarama says the Public Order Act, amongst other laws, requires any group wanting to hold a public meeting to apply for a permit from the police. Amnesty International, the European Union and New Zealand Foreign Minister Mari Mekali expressed concern over the weekend. However, Bainimarama says the 6 were lawfully detained for questioning and there have been no allegations of any of their human rights breaches. He says Fiji has a sovereign right to make its own laws and the Public Order Act exists because of our colonial past and a history of civil unrest in post-independent Fiji, which cannot be repeated. Bainimarama adds an objective assessment of what's happening requires an understanding and appreciation of the separation of powers between the independent institutions of the state. He says the government respects the independence of all these institutions, which are essential for maintaining the rule of law. Meanwhile, New Zealand Prime Minister John Key, in an interview with Radio New Zealand, says they have been monitoring developments. He says this does not require his government to take a more critical look at Fiji, since the arrests were done with legal authority and within laws that exist in Fiji. This was in reply to claims by Fiji Labour Party leader Mahendra Chaudhry that there was no democratic process in Fiji. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
Transport Minister Parveen Bala has revealed that severe action will be taken following an investigation into 2 senior officers of the Land Transport Authority, currently on leave pending investigations. Both were investigated over allegations of corruption and abuse of office. The case is also being handled by FICAC.
The fate of 2 senior LTA officers who were sent on leave pending investigations will depend on the outcome of a report.
What I said was that after the investigation, if there are people who are found guilty, then definitely there will be changes.
With continuous claims of corruption against various LTA officials, Bala says he is waiting for a report from LTA, which is currently being vetted by the Solicitor General's office.
I have gone through the report and now I will submit to Solicitor General's office for vetting. Once the report is vetted, then and only we will implement what's in the report.
Meanwhile, Bala has revealed that there will be major leadership changes at LTA and government will do all it can to stop corruption at the institution. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
The popular Happy Garden restaurant in Nambua, Suva was destroyed in a fire last night, along with the home of the owners behind the eatery. It took firefighters up to 3 hours to douse the blaze.
This is what remains of the fire that occurred yesterday evening. While it did destroy Suva's most iconic fish and chips restaurant, it also damaged the entire building which catered for homes behind the store. An eyewitness told FBC News the owner and his wife suffered burns while trying to retrieve possessions from their home.
Owners, they were, I can say they were very lucky. They didn't burn that much, but the husband, he burnt burnt a lot. His right hand, it was badly burnt, and the left hand, just the hand. And his hair was all burned, and the face, little bit of face. So they were standing here near the gate. I just quickly take the husband inside, just do the treatment, and they came out.
The National Fire Authority has confirmed 3 fire trucks went to the scene.
Investigations are continuing. According to the report, they've confirmed that the fire started in the kitchen, but we are waiting for further reports from the National Fire Authority and the actual what determined that fire.
While the investigations continue, police have urged the public to be careful with fire. Last month alone, there were 6 house fires which killed 6 people. Rachel Nath, FBC News.
Many young people believe what happens in Parliament and what the government does has no relevance in their lives. A workshop is being conducted for school teachers in this regard to help them teach their students the importance of parliamentary democracy and active civil engagement. Eleanor Turangaivu with this report.
Close to 30 teachers from schools around Bono level are undergoing a 2-day training on parliament, democracy, governance and citizenship. It's an opportunity provided by the Parliament of Fiji and the Parliament of Victoria in Australia to help teach students the importance of parliamentary democracy and their civic duties.
By learning about Parliament and how it works, students will see that Parliament is a crucial element in our democracy. Among other things, it ensures that our laws are just and reasonable and that there is accountability.
Many young people feel as if they have no voice and even no interest in what decisions are made in Parliament. It is for this reason that they are holding this workshop for teachers, opened by the Commissioner Northern Chovesa Bodea this morning.
How you educate and enlighten young minds so they understand the concept of parliamentary democracy and contribute actively and positively in our democratic processes is entirely in your hands. The government relies on teachers to teach students about their civic duty, inculcate civic skills and civic dispositions so that they will contribute positively in building a better Fiji for all.
The workshop will give the teachers an opportunity to learn more about Parliament, its procedures as well as its functions. The parliamentary teams will also be looking for contributions from the teachers on how best they can help develop better teaching and learning resources for parliamentary education for Fijian students. Eleanor Turangaivu, FBC News.
15 women from Dakondrove in Vanuatu will leave for New Zealand tomorrow under the Seasonal Employment Scheme. For many of these women, it's a lifetime opportunity, while for some others, it's a sacrifice. Sanya Nimboila with the story.
It's a dream come true for these ladies, struggling every day to provide for their families. Jetting off to New Zealand tomorrow to work for the company Turners and Growers New Zealand Limited is something they will never forget.
This trip will help raise my family's standard of living.
I really miss my family back home, but it's all about sacrifice, and this help by the government will really help us.
I will go and I will come back and help my family.
While farewelling the women today, the outgoing Employment Minister, Semi Kroela-Bissau, said the government is working towards giving our Fijians a better life.
The government wishes you well, and the government feels that this is an opportunity for you to go and work, earn some money and bring it back to your family, and hopefully it will provide some economic activity in the areas that you live in.
Kroela-Bissau has also urged these workers to remain focused on their purpose in New Zealand and to work within their visa condition. They will return to Fiji on the 16th of April next year. Sainia Nimboila, FBC News.
Still to come on FBC News, a record number of JPs sworn in. An NGO focuses on making cyclone-resilient homes for Fijians. Stay with us.
Galovina, Guia Dolosana, Angito Talitakini and Navarro, Nambula FM, a Golden Point Resort, Basendo Nambando and Here, Vinaka.
Bula Vinaka, Navan Gotevita, Utungo 90, Andu talita ka wali waro ng Bula FM number 2 na sir.
Nada ko makilesi wer kraki LSB ng Bula FM number 2 na sir.
Hello nga ratu kitchen ng tabo andu talita ka na waro ng Bula FM number 2 na sir ngo nusu.
Bula FM number 2 na sir.
Welcome back. More than 120 justices of the peace and 16 commissioners of oaths have been sworn in by the High Court, the largest ever in Fiji. The ceremony was held in Suva this morning. Savaira Tambua has more.
These are registered justices of the peace, or JPs, and commissioners for oaths.
It's really an honor to be chosen and also to serve the community, which is something that I have a passion for.
You have to serve the people, honestly, faithfully, without any favor. And anybody can come to me, irrespective of of any religion he or she is.
I'm happy to be given this responsibility, being the second JP in our village, and I hope this will be of great help to our community.
Chief Justice Anthony Gates also had a timely message for the men and women of the important responsibilities they now carry.
You need to keep a reputation for being selfless, accommodating, ready to help, obliging, willing to assist. I've said this before and I say it again today. It's not just about putting JP after your name or on your letterhead. Being a JP or a commissioner is about giving service to the people of Fiji.
Two of the key messages given to the new JPs and commissioners for oaths is to only verify signatures when the person signs the document in front of them, and also not to sign blank forms or affidavits for police, department or any other organization. Sabera Tambua, FBC News.
A man who allegedly skipped out on thousands of dollars in hotel costs has surrendered to police. Viliame Kawa, who was wanted for questioning by Singatoka police, turned up at the Valelevo police station in Nasinu this morning. He's in custody and will be taken to Singatoka. It's alleged that Kumbukawa failed to settle his bill of close to $10,000 after staying at a Coral Coast resort. He is also alleged to have fraudulently obtained e-tickets online. NGO Habitat for Humanity Fiji is focusing on making innovative cyclone-resilient homes for rural and low-income families. The organization launched a Habitat Charlotte last month for architects and designers to come up with appropriate house designs for Habitat's target beneficiaries. Pranita Prakash reports.
The National Director says Tropical Cyclone Winston brought about the need for safer homes for low-income families. Certain criteria were set for the design professionals.
We've asked them to think about gender. How accessible are these homes to women, these designs? How accessible are they to children? We've asked them to think about replicability. Can these houses be replicated, standardized, so that costs can be reduced?
Stuart Huggett, who has more than 40 years of experience in the industry, says this is a worthwhile operation.
We always design cyclone-resilient homes, actually. It's just a matter of getting the structure right. The problem is that too often self-build houses don't follow the code for cyclone resistant. And I just make a plea to people to make sure they get the structure right of their homes, and then they won't lose them.
A number of houses built by Habitat for Humanity as part of the ongoing project did not sustain any damages during Cyclone Winston. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
Muslims in Fiji today celebrated Eid ul-Adha, or the Sacrifice Feast. It's the second of two Muslim holidays celebrated worldwide each year and considered the holier of the two. Today, Muslims around the country sacrificed animal meat, which is divided into three portions. Ahmadiyya Muslim Jama missionary Asif Ahmad Arif says the family retains 1/3 of the portion, another is given to relatives, friends and neighbors, and the remaining third is given to the poor and needy.
Eid al-Adha is a very historic celebration in which we commemorate the great sacrifice made by our forefather, Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam. When we sacrifice on this festive day, on the day of Eid al-Adha, we are saying the fact that whatever man spends in the cause of God, it never goes to waste.
In world news, Donald Trump has jumped on news of Hillary Clinton's pneumonia, saying he will shortly release his own detailed medical report. Clinton's campaign has admitted errors in handling the diagnosis. And sports is up next. Here's Jamie with the latest.
Nak Edwin, and good evening. In sports tonight, $10 million for Pacific Rugby and Netball programs. And basketball, Fiji to host Under-18 Oceania Championships for a second time. This and more after the break.
Namaste, Golden Point Resort. Raki Raki me. Mirchi FM is garam garam. Mirchi FM is hot.
I'm Sanjay Taguake. Mirchi FM is hot.
I'm Harshana. I love Mirchi FM. It's hot in Lautoka.
Hi, मैं अविनाश हूँ. मैं लंबासा से बोल रहा हूँ. मैं हमेशा मिर्ची FM सुन रहा हूँ. मिर्ची FM is so hot.
मैं शालिनी देवी from Covert Avenue. जैसे आँख खुलती है वैसे मिर्ची FM मुझे मस्त कर देती है. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Fiji has welcomed news that the New Zealand government will invest $10 million into rugby and netball development programs for children in Pacific Island countries. This is New Zealand's largest sports development initiative in the Pacific. Vasnil Prasad with the details.
And to maintain a
Fiji National Sports Commission, together with Ministry of Youth and Sports, have welcomed New Zealand's initiative to help the sport of rugby and netball grow in the Pacific.
We are very, very keen on this program because it's going to be the starting development of our youth. So it's really aimed at primary schools and secondary schools, as far as we know.
However, not all is rosy for this, as the funding could pave the way for more Pacific talent turning out for New Zealand in the two sports.
Yes, I think that will be part of it. And in some ways I'm hoping they do actually, because anybody that's Fijian comes home. If they go and get more training overseas, look at them all come back.
It's a 5-year partnership with New Zealand Rugby and Netball New Zealand. This deal provides equipment, facilities, as well as training coaches and referees.
A great news, especially for the government, for the Ministry of Youth and Sports. I believe that if that is coming and that will actually provide, developments to the sport itself.
Fiji, Tonga, Samoa and Cook Islands are part of the program which will start next year. Vasnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
The Newtown Rugby Club in Nasinu leaves on its first tour of Australia next week. More than 40 players have been confirmed for the 6-month tour and leave on Saturday. Rohit Deo has more.
After months of hard work and sacrifice, the Newtown Rugby Club, better known as NTK Brigade, is ready to give their players international exposure.
We've been taping some of the untapped talented rugby players here in Newtown Rugby, and most of these players are unemployment. And what we've been seeing is that this is another door that will showcase the boys through club levels to overseas contracts.
For the players, playing in more than 10 7-a-side tournaments in Australia will not be an easy task.
I know this is a good opportunity for me. I know that God provides me for this tour.
Many of us have not have any securing jobs here in Fiji, so we are going out there to showcase our talent.
Run, you're running.
With just days away from their first ever overseas trip, these players know that doing the hard work now will take them a long way.
This preparation has been starting from last November. We decided to form a team and make sure to get all the resources from them to make this tour a successful one.
The team leaves on the 25th of this month. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
The Vodafone Flying Fijians remain in 10th position in World Rugby rankings released today. Fiji is placed top in the Pacific region, followed by Samoa on 14th and Tonga in 15th place. In the top 5, the biggest change has been Australia moving to 3rd place and South Africa also slipping a place down. New Zealand remains the number 1 team. Former Fiji Sevens player and Titans star Jared Hayne will be investigated by the NRL's Integrity Unit after footage emerged of him allegedly handing cash to a suspected Hells Angels gang member in the Gold Coast. 8 teams will be part of the FIBA Under-18 Oceania Championships to be played in Fiji. This will be the second time Basketball Fiji will host the championships, and the federation says it is grateful for being given the opportunity again.
Basketball Fiji is not just this federation, it's been a national journey. The government in its initiatives has assisted with sports. They've enabled us to be able to host the tournaments. In 2014 we had the first international tournament hosted by Basketball Fiji.
The FIBA Under-18 Oceania Championships will be held from the 4th to the 11th of December at the Vodafone Arena in Suva. Lami, Mbua and Raki will battle it out for top honours in football's Vodafone Senior League this season. In the Southern Zone, Lami edged Nasinu by a single point in the standings and is the favourite going into the playoffs. In the Western Zone, Raki made it through to the championships on a better goal difference, putting Tavoa out of the race. The Northern Zone was much more competitive, with Mbua coming out victorious in the end. The playoff will be played in a round-robin format.
They'll gather at one venue, hopefully after next week in Suva, at Suva Academy, and they'll play a single round-robin playoff matches against each other, where the team with highest point will get promoted to Premier Division from next season.
The winner of the tournament will compete in the Premier Division next season after the Courts Inter-District Championships. That's it from sports this evening. It's back to Edwin now with business.
Vodafone Fiji has confirmed that, in line with its expansion plans to ease connectivity amongst all Fijians, 10 new sites have been commissioned across the country recently. Chief Executive Pradeep Lal says the sites for their customers are in the rural and island locations in Kandavu, Tavyuni, Ngamea, Vanua Levu and along the Rewatai Levu corridor. Vodafone says it continues to heavily invest in network infrastructure, with over $100 million being pushed into development in the last 3 years. Overcast and unsettled conditions in most parts of the country today. Temperatures were cool in all centres. Mba was at 30 degrees, while the rest ranged in the upper 20s, leaving Suva the coolest at 26 degrees. For tomorrow, widespread rain is predicted for the whole country, which is expected to clear by midday. And looking ahead to Thursday, sunny periods are expected to be felt around the country. At sea, southeast winds 20 to 25 knots, rough to very rough seas. And recapping the main stories, Prime Minister Bainimarama has hit out at international critics, senior LTA officers to face severe action for alleged corruption, and popular Suva restaurant destroyed in fire. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. And on to this week's poll question. We ask, should an expatriate be hired as the new Sevens coach? To answer, visit our FBC website, and you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj. Share it with us via our Facebook page, or if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News, or simply hashtag FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Edwin Nand. Good night.
Bula, I'm Dori from Nasinu Market. My choice is simple, Gold FM. Only the classic hits.
My name is Yvonne. I'm from Nandi. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Sayandra, my name is Sunny. Only the Gold FM at Golden Point Resort, Raki.
Hi, I'm Anna of Nasinu. When it comes to a radio, my choice is always Gold FM. Only the classic hits.
My name is Anna and I'm from Nandi. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.